The 80s. Big hair, flashy clothes, great music. Welcome to Bryer Showcase. I'm Bryer Cisneros, and in this video, I'm going to have a little fun, and I'm going to be talking about my favorite albums from the 80s. So I'm going to be starting from 1980 to 1989. And we have, I believe, there's 30 albums in total, so none of these are in any order. I'm just going to go through them. They're going to go by alphabetical order, but all these are my favorite albums from the 80s, at least in my collection. So in the comments below, let me know your favorite albums from the 80s. Could be your top 10, top 20, top 30, top 5, whatever. Just comment below. Should be interesting. And also, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, because we are on the run for 100 subscribers, and hopefully by the end of the summer we can do that. So let's see if we can try and do that. So let's go ahead. Let's get started. So again, we're going alphabetical order. So starting us off, of course, we're going to start with some AC/DC, of course, with Back in Black. I mean, it's a classic. It's one of the best-selling albums ever. Yeah, it's just so good. I mean, every song is great. I mean, this is the first album with Brian Johnson on the vocals, right after they lost their former lead singer, Bon Scott. And Brian Johnson just definitely hits out of the park. Really great introduction for him. And yeah, it's a classic. I love this one. Listen to it a ton. Okay, up next, we're going to go with Def Leppard, Pyromania. I could have gone with Hysteria. I know that Hysteria is kind of polarizing to some, but I love Hysteria. But I think I like Pyromania just a little bit more. It just feels a bit more cohesive, I think. Like, every song just feels right to it. There's no, like, filler or anything. But yeah, Pyromania, great album. So yeah, not much else to say. It's just very good, great production, very good stuff. Funny enough, I already talked about this in my previous video, but I'm going back to Genesis with Invisible Touch. Yeah, I love it. Don't judge me, but yeah, very good, very good. It's a great pop rock album. That's all I can say. Okay, going back to heavy metal, we have Dio with Holy Diver. Yeah, I mean, it's Ronnie James Dio. What more can you say? I mean, he just kills it throughout. Like Stand Up and Shout's great opener. The title track is memorable for a reason. Gypsy, Caught in the Middle, very underrated song, I think. Don't Talk to Strangers, again, and of course has the other big hit, Rainbow in the Dark, which is very good. Yeah, I mean, Brian James Dio. I mean, what more can I say? Okay, Go-Go's, Beauty and the Beats, very good stuff. Like, it's kind of like pop rock, a little bit, tiny bit new wave, not really, but yeah, it's great stuff. I mean, the whole band just sounds so good, and this, frankly, to my knowledge, they would never really capture the energy they have on this particular album, I feel. But yeah, great album here. Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. Yeah, another classic one of the greatest debuts of all time. 12 songs, all of them are very good. Yeah, and again, I think this is probably their best work, honestly. Okay, we have Heart with their self-titled. Not my favorite Heart album, but in the 80s, this is probably my favorite ones of their albums in this decade. I mean, I loved all the singles on here. What About Love, Never, These Dreams, great stuff. And I like the other songs, If Looks Can Kill, The Wolf, Nothing at All. Yeah, very good stuff. Again, most people aren't huge fans of Heart in this particular decade, but I don't care. I think they sound great. I don't care. Ann Wilson just sounds great, whatever she does. All right, next up, forgive me, the CD case is a little bit dirty. Hopefully it's not too noticeable, but going for some Iron Maiden with my favorite Iron Maiden album, which is Power Slave. It's just very good, so heavy. Like, every song here is just so awesome. Starts with Aces High, great opening track, 2 Minutes to Midnight. Even the instrumental song is great. And then you have Flash of the Blade, Duelist. Then the title track is just so good, and then it finishes out with Raymond the Ancient Mariner, which is again, great closing song. It's 13 minutes, but I don't mind the length at all. Okay, Journey, Escape. Yeah, I love Journey. Very good album here, the most commercially and critically successful one, I think. Of course, has Don't Stop Believing, which is a endearing classic. Stone in Love, Who's Crying Now, Keep on Running, Still They Ride, Mother Father, what a great song that is, and then Open Arms, of course, and Escape, the title track, and yeah, this is a great album, so good. Joy Division, yep, they just barely got into the 80s. Of course, this is their final album with Ian Curtis before he died. This is Closer, of course. Definitely the harder album to get into, at least for me. Unknown Pleasures is probably their most like commercial, air quotes on that, but you know, yeah. But Closer is a bit more experimental in terms of the production, and once you get used to it, you start to appreciate what a great album it actually is. So yeah, it's in here. Going back to some metal, Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. Just starts out with Hellion and Electric Eye. Great opening tracks here, like Riding on the Wind, Bloodstone, Take These Chains, Pain and Pleasure, title track, You Got Another Thing Coming, Fever, then Devil's Child. Like, yeah, it's my favorite 80s Judas Priest album by far. So for this next one, this particular artist is currently kind of making resurgence in a way. One of her songs was actually featured in Stranger Things, of all things. And of course, I'm talking about Kate Bush. And of course, this is her 1985 album, Hounds of Love. Absolutely adore this album. I've been listening to it a ton recently. And of course, Running Up That Hill, like I mentioned, has kind of had a resurgence because it appeared on Stranger Things. So, I mean, hey, if more people are listening to Kate Bush, then I'm a happy guy. So yeah, like I said, adore this album. Like, it's my favorite one of her albums so far. Like, the first side is like kind of standalone songs, but the second half is kind of its own concept. Like, so artistically, it's fantastic. She sounds amazing on here. Production is timeless, I feel. So yeah, love this one. Okay, Metallica, Ride the Lightning. I could have easily gone with Master of Puppets, but I'm gonna go with this one because it's my personal favorite. Yeah, so good. Like, I really don't have much else to say. Other than that, it's great. Again, I don't have much else to say because, I mean, it's the best-selling album for a reason. Yeah, Michael Jackson's Thriller. Yep. Again, not much to say. It's the best-selling album, so it speaks for itself. Okay, next, I'm gonna go with this one. Michael Schenker Group, Assault Attack. The only one to feature Graham Bonnet on vocals. Yeah, it just kicks ass, really. Like, Graham sounds great on here. The guitar work is just out this world. Yeah, love this one. And I just bought this one this year alone, and this might actually become one of my favorite albums I bought this year. So that's gonna be a little spoiler for when we get to the end of the year. Okay, Peter Gabriel. I talked about Genesis, so let's go with Peter here. Okay, this is, of course, So. Yep, just commercially it was great. I mean, I love this album. Yep, the singles are all memorable. Of course, In Your Eyes, like, beautiful song. Yep, good album. I talked about Genesis. I talked about Peter Gabriel. So now we're up to Phil Collins, and my pick is No Jacket Required. This was tough because it was either this one or Face Value. And while musically I think Face Value is the better album, but I think in terms of songs, I think this has my pick. Like, the singles on here are very good. Studio, One More Night, Don't Lose My Number, Take Me Home, and even all the other songs, all deep cuts, are all very good as well. So yeah, love this one. Probably one of his best solo works, but yeah, I like it. It's really good. Okay, The Police. We have Ghost in the Machine. I already did a ranking video on them. This was my second pick, but my favorite Police album was released in the 70s, so I couldn't pick it, so I'm going with my second favorite, which is Ghost in the Machine. Yeah, and it has my favorite Police song, which is Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic. Yeah, that alone is why this is here, so that's it. Okay, up next we have Prince with Purple Rain. Yeah, I was really amazed with this one. Like this is kind of I've always known Prince was a great musician, but I didn't really know that till I listened to this one. Like, yeah, every song's great. No bad song on this one. I mean, the title track alone is just like just perfect. But yeah, Purple Rain, Prince. Not a great film, but the album, that's where it's at. All right, I had to get Queen in here, of course, but it was kind of tough because a lot of the Queen albums in the 80s are all are all consistent. To some, that's a bad thing. I don't think it's too much of a bad thing. But so with that being said, it was actually kind of tough picking ones because I could have gone with The Works, I could have gone with The Miracle, but I'm gonna go with this one for now. It could change, but I'm gonna go with this one. That's A Kind of Magic. I think it's a little bit of an underrated album. I like One Vision. The title track's really good. 1 Year of Love is a very underrated song. Great ballad by John Deacon. Pain So Close to Closure is pretty good. Friends Will Be Friends. Who Wants to Live Forever? That's a good song. I love that one. Give me the Prize. Don't Lose Your Head are fine. But then it finishes off with Princes of the Universe, which that alone is kind of why it's up here. So yeah, I'm going with A Kind of Magic. But again, it could change at any point. All right, we have Queensryche with Operation Mindcrime. Okay, I love this album. This might actually be one of my favorite albums ever, actually, because it's a whole concept album, and it's just so good. Like, there's no weak moments on here. It's just it's just all in. Like, it never lights up. It's just so cohesive. Yeah, love this one. If you haven't listened to it yet, go listen to this. It's so good. Okay, Rat, Out of the Cellar. Yep, got some hair metal, of course. Your typical 80s hair metal, but you know, this is still good. I really enjoy this one. Like, every song here is very memorable. Yeah, really good band. I definitely need to check out more, I think. Rush, Moving Pictures. Yep, this is kind of a no-brainer, honestly. Like most people, this is probably their best, not just the 80s, but maybe even best in general. But we'll see when I get to that ranking video, but I'm still working on that. Don't worry about it. Okay, Sabotage. Bought this one this year, and again, just blew me away. Like, I heard a lot of good stuff about them, but I didn't know until I actually bought this one. And yeah, it's great. Yeah, totally adore this one. So go check it out. Scorpions, Love at First Sting. Of course, has the big hit Rock You Like a Hurricane. Still Loving You, of course, were the big hits, but you know, it's still a great 80s rock album, or 80s hard rock, 80s metal, whatever you want to categorize Scorpions in. But yeah, good one here. Okay, almost done. Just a few more to go. Tears for Fears, song from The Big Chair. Yeah, has probably one of my favorite songs of all time, which is Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Just adore that song. But everything else is great. Shout, The Working Hour, Mother's Talk, Head Over Heels. Just, yeah, top to bottom, really good. Toto with Toto 4. This might be my favorite Toto album as of right now. But yeah, Rosanna, I Won't Hold You Back, Make Believe, Waiting for Your Love. I love that song. Of course, that's Africa, which is a timeless classic. So yeah, Toto 4. Okay, just 3 more to go. U2, The Joshua Tree. This is one of my oldest CDs I have in my collection. But yeah, it's a great album. Yeah, my favorite U2 album by far. Starts with Where the Streets Have No Name. I still haven't found What I'm Looking For, With or Without You. Bullet in the Blue Sky, Running to Stand Still. The album kind of loses steam towards the end, unfortunately, in my opinion. But you know, the first, like the beginning of the album starts so strong. So yeah, it's kind of why it's up here. So had to include it. Okay, Whitesnake, another band that was kind of tough because I could have gone with the self-titled. or 1987 if you want to call it that. But I'm gonna go with the one that actually preceded it. I'm gonna go with Slide It In. I think between the two, I listened to this one a lot more. Of course, this is the US anniversary remaster. So I know the track listings were different between the US and the UK. So in this particular issue, it starts off with Gambler, which is great. Love that song. Slide It In, Slow and Easy. Love Ain't No Stranger, great song. Giving More Time, Standing in the Shadow, Hungry for Love, All for Nothing, Guilty of Love. Yeah, good Whitesnake one. And then finally, to finish off, we're gonna go with Whitney Houston with Whitney. Yeah, I mean, Whitney Houston, what a great singer she was. Just great pop music. I mean, there's nothing wrong with some great pop music. Yeah, like, really, again, no bad song on here. Like, of course, again, people can criticize this type of music, like it's overproduced. You know, maybe it's all about the technicality of her voice rather than the emotion of it. But she does bring some good emotion in some of these songs. But yeah, Whitney Houston, I love her, so had to include her. So there you have it. Those are some of my favorite albums from the 80s, at least in my collection currently. So again, in the comments below, let me know your favorite 80s albums. Again, top 5, top 10, top 20. It doesn't matter. Just comment below. Again, leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye for now.